Hi everyone. Good evening. Good evening to everyone. A very good evening to everyone. I hope you're doing well today. And welcome to this. Welcome to our chats and chill session every Monday. As we have, as we get to have our session this evening. So I think this is the second. This is the second one you're having, yeah, for the month of August. So this should be the second one that you're having for this month. So I welcome you to this session. And as we get to start off. Okay. As we get to start off, I think from what we had discussed last week, okay? So probably just starting from where we had talked about from last week. So last week there's quite a number of setups we had, quite a number of pairs that we were looking out for. Then shared insights and updates over the week, all the way into Friday when you had the non-farm, that is NFP. Then now, at least after NFP, we've seen the direction that the markets have taken. We have quite a weaker dollar. We have stronger gold and silver. So we will get to see the different reactions as per the different reactions as per today. So let's get to see what we are anticipating for this week. All right. Let's get to see what we are anticipating for the week. So we'll have quite a number of pairs to look at. Right, we'll have quite a number of pairs to look at, but probably before that, let me just say a quick hi. Let me say a quick hi to everyone so I can see Alpha. Hi, Alpha.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Hi, Alpha. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good, man. Welcome to the session.
Thank you. Hi, guys.
Hi, Alpha. Hi, there's Dak Tari. Hi, Dak Tari.
Hi Jeff, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, karibu sana. Welcome to the session.
Asante.
Then there's Mary Karaoke. Good evening, Mary.
Good evening to Jeff.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah, welcome to the session as well.
Thank you.
I can see Marcy. Marcy, hi Marcy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well.
Yeah, welcome to the session. Then I
Asante.
see Rita. Rita, good evening, Rita. Hello, good evening, Rita. Probably Rita may not hear us. Okay, it's all right. So today I'll get to start off with the major. Today I'll get to start off with the major pairs. Then, in case of any pair you'd like me to look at, feel free to ask me. Then Alpha. I'll let you do US oil. Let you do US oil. I mean, I'll let you do US oil and UK oil. You'll have US oil, UK oil, and the FTSE UK 100. Then probably also any other pair that you'd like to add. So I'll cover the majors. I'll cover the majors, then I'll let you have crude oil, Brent oil, and UK 100, and also Euro GBP as well. So starting off with the dollar index, we have this right here. This is on the dollar index. So we have this range right here. We've had the major range from this supply all the way down to demand and back to supply. That range is filled. That is the major range. Then now we have from this supply all the way down to this demand, back to this supply, that range is filled. But now I have now a range from this structure all the way to these highs and back to this structure, that range is filled. So here you may get to see a slight retracement. Okay. Here you may get to see just a slight retracement before potential continuation of the drop lower. And the moment you get to see a potential continuation of the drop lower is a break below this structure here. Okay. The moment you get to see a break below this structure, that is when you know that you're anticipating to see a potential continuation of the drop lower. Now, ideally, if you're looking at it from a bigger picture perspective, then you will see that this is a long-term sell that you're looking out for. Okay, we've already had a shift in market structure. So what we are now looking out for is a long-term. What we are now looking out for is a long-term kind of a scenario, because now we have a whole range to fill down to this, and all the way also down to this demand. But now that won't happen. That won't happen immediately. Okay, you'll get to see the pullbacks, then push down, pullbacks, push down like that. Okay, we'll get to see that. So when you come down to the 4-hour time frame, you have these right here. So you can see currently what's happening. You've seen a top of this, a top of this, then a slight retracement. It does like this, push to the downside, taps this. A slight retracement before we get to see a potential push to the downside again. Okay, so let's get to observe and see the reactions that we'll be anticipating for at this point. But ideally, we'll be looking at a slight retracement to 110. We have a slight retracement to 100 areas here. Okay, 100 levels before potential push to the downside. Okay, so let's get to see the reactions. Let's get to see the reactions at this point. Okay, a potential push to these areas of 100, then a potential push to the downside. All right, so there's that on the dollar. There's that on the dollar index. Okay, there's that on the dollar index. So we have that on the dollar index. Then let's get to a pair like now USD CAD and USD CHF. I have this right here. Then let me also have USD CHF right here, like that. Let me start these on the daily time frame, like this. We have these right here. Okay. Oh, hi Rita. And see, hi Jeff, hi all. Hi Rita. You can hear us, or you can hear me. Uh,
Yeah.
okay. Welcome.
You.
So, we have this right here. Let me start off with USDCAD. So, remember what you had here on the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, like this. Like this. Okay. So, look at the scenario you saw here. Before price broke below this and dropped down to this. Now look at what is happening here. This point here as well. From this demand all the way to this supply, back to this demand all the way to this, then that is when you had the breakout all the way down. Now here you had from this demand to this supply, back to this demand, that range was filled. And from this demand, a push to the upside, then now the drop below, a retest. So at this point here, we'll be looking out for a potential continuation. At this point here, we'll be looking out for a potential continuation of the drop lower. Okay, so we'll be looking out for a potential continuation of the drop lower, and price does something like this, all the way down to these next area at 1.38, 100 levels. down here, which is this next demand area. The same demand, right? The same demand that we are mentioning here before, when this happened. So even at this point here, we are looking at a similar scenario. Okay. At this point here, we are looking at a similar scenario. Now that is on the daily time frame. When we come down to the 4-hour now, we have this scenario here. We've already seen a breakout. There's been a breakout, a low formed, a retest of this point, then a push to the downside. So you may get to see another potential this before a drop to the downside like that. Okay. Now reason being, look at the candle formation right here. Look at this candle pattern formation here. We have a bearish engulfing candle, a weak bullish, then another strong bearish candle here. So this tells you we are looking at a potential continuation of the drop. You're looking at a potential continuation of the drop lower. Okay. That tells you that we'll be looking out for a potential continuation of the drop lower. Okay. So let's see how price reacts to that on USDCAD, but ideally that is what you're looking out for. Then we anticipate to see a potential drop all the way down to this next demand at 1.38 100 levels down here. Okay, so that for the full range to be filled all the way down to this same demand down here. Okay, all the way down to this same demand here. So let's get to observe. And see how price. Reacts to this. Okay, but ideally that is what we'll be looking out. Potentially that is what we'll be looking out for. So you have that on USDCAD. Then for USDCHF, you have this range here. For USDCHF, we have from this demand all the way to this supply, and back into this demand that range is filled. Okay, so push to the upside like that before another push like this. So here we are still in consolidation phase here. We have not yet seen a potential, we've not yet seen a confirmation for a potential continuation of the drop lower. Okay, so at this point I'd be anticipating to see a potential push to the downside like that. But ideally, we've not yet seen that. So if it has not yet happened, then we wait until it actually happens. Okay, so when you come down to the 4-hour time frame, we have these right here on the 4-hour. So on the 4-hour time frame, we have this. So this is not really any confirmation for a potential bullish reversal, nor a potential bearish continuation. The only time we'll have a potential confirmation of anything is if we get to see something like this, then this for a potential bullish reversal. So we have a shift in market structure. Or if you get to see now this, then this for a potential bearish continuation. Okay, for a potential bearish continuation. So let's get to observe and see the reactions. Let's get to observe and see the reactions at these particular points. Okay, so we have that on USD CHF. Then I'll look at EURUSD and GBP USD. You have EURUSD right here, and then you have GBP USD. GBP USD right here. So for GBP USD, actually, it was almost like the target was almost hit. It kind of like missed by a pip. Yeah, 340. Price go to 35 330. I mean 1.35 300. So this is missed out by 4 pips. Okay, so that was missed out by that was missed out by that was missed out by 4 pips. Okay, then now the range, the full range we have is from we have the range from this demand all the way to this supply area and back into this demand. This range was filled. Then you have a push to the upside, a retest. Then the rally, and now that today's push is what has caused price all the way to this area. So we anticipate to see this full range getting filled. Then at this point, we'll be able to observe and see. We'll be able to observe and see, will price get to break above and keep pushing higher? Okay. Will price get to break above and will price get to break above and keep pushing higher? Okay. Or are we going to see a potential shift in market structure and price pushes? Are we going to see a potential shift in market structure and price pushes to the downside? Something like this, for example. Okay. Something like this. So let's get to observe and see. Let's get to observe and see how price reacts to this. Okay. Let's get to observe and see the reactions. Let's get to observe and see the reactions at this point. Okay. So we have that on GBP. We have that on GBP USD. All right, Euro USD as well. You can see how price is retracing. So we have this area here. We had the breakout above. We had the retest. Then a push to the upside. Another retest. Price forms a minor demand at this point. Then a push to the upside. So even here, we may get to have a slight retest before potential. Push to the upside. And for the full range to be filled is all the way until the areas of 1.16. 1.16 300 areas, because now that is the origin of this hole. That is the origin of this whole drop down here. Okay, that is the origin. That is the origin of this whole drop. This whole drop to the downside. Okay, so we have that on Euro USD. Yeah, we have that on Euro USD. Then I'll do a quick look at NZD USD. I thought I saw it on NZD USD and AUD USD. AUD USD right here. So for NZD, you can see we had the breakout, we had the break above, retest, price pushes to the upside, we're in consolidation. So these are slight retracement before potential, push higher, and price is rallying to these next highs at 0.59900 areas, back to these previous highs. Because now these previous highs form the origin of these whole drop down to these lows like that. Okay, all the way down to these lows, all the way down to these lows like that. Okay, so let's get to observe and see how price. Let's get to observe and see how price reacts to this. But ideally, that is what I'll be looking out for. Okay, that is what I'll be looking out for. So we have that on NZD. We have that on NZD USD. Then for AUD, USD, we have these right here. On AUD USD, you have this. So now this is a range on the 4-hour time frame. Probably let me start this from the daily. On the daily, we have this right here. So we have this range from this supply down to this demand and back to this supply. That range is filled. Okay. Then from this supply we get to see now a potential push to the downside like that. Okay. We get to see a potential push to the downside. Okay, so let's get observe and see how price reacts to these on AUD USD. Then let's have a quick look at that is gold and silver. You have gold right there, and see it's strongly pushing to the upside. Then you also have silver. So for silver as well, silver is strongly pushing, and I think we started talking about this on Friday during NFP. So these one expect a very strong rally to the upside. If there's a way you can actually get to have a piece of this, find a way to get into this. So we have this break above. This is the retest. This will have been the first best area of interest. Push to the upside, high formed, another retest. A retest of this previous broken high, forming a minor structure here. So at this point here, this one can look for potential opportunities, but now here is already in the middle. Then we anticipate a potential continuation of the rally higher, all the way to the areas of 70.49 to 70.49282 for the full range to be filled, because now we have from this supply all the way coming down to these lows. Then from these lows here again, you have all the way to the breakout here, the retest, then a potential continuation of the rally higher. Okay, you get to find a potential continuation of the rally higher. Okay, so there's that on silver. We are looking at a potential continuation of the rally higher, some very strong momentum of this one, and then it also has a better zone to move ratio, because you're looking at from this zone to this next supply is quite a number of pips. So that tells you that this is a good position to actually swing it. Okay, it tells you this is a very good position to actually swing it. So it's a matter of how you get into your how you look out for potential entries, how you get to now place your stops, and now your take profits, or rather in terms of your targets, all the way up to this supply area here. So this is a very good swing on silver. Okay, this is a very good swing on silver. Then we have on gold right here. So now this is what you have on gold. This is what you have on gold right here. So for gold, remember we had the range from this supply all the way down to this demand and back to this supply. Then from this supply again down back to this demand like that. But now the major range is from this supply all the way down like this, a retest, then down to this. Now when price has rallied, broken above, they've had a retest of the broken supply as a new demand before potential continuation of the rally higher. And now this is the move that you enjoyed for NFP. If you remember that day, the NFP day, this is the move that you actually got all the way till this supply. The target was hit. Now here, chances are very high price is going to break above this. Chances are very high that it's going to break above this. Look at the candle pattern formation here. None of it looks like a potential bearish reversal. And chances are high you may get to see something like this, then a potential continuation of the rally higher. And prices rallying all the way to these areas of 45, potentially these areas of 45, 23 levels. So if you're also looking for a potential swing on that one, then you have a good, you'll also have a very good trading opportunity on this one. But first, wait for the break above, because once the moment you have the retest, you'll have at least a confirmed setup as compared to trying to take it at this time. Okay, it will be better. It will be better it will be better to take it once it has broken above, then you have the retest, then you have a potential continuation of the rally higher, rather than trying to take it while it is inside a zone. Okay, it's hard to take it while it is inside. It's hard to take it while it is still inside a zone. Okay, so we have that on gold. We have that right there. We have that right there on gold. Okay, we have that right there on gold. Then I've talked about silver. You can see already momentum kicking in. So if anyone is looking for potential opportunity, you can still look out for this one. Then you hold it all the way up to 70.51010, all the way up. Okay, so there's that on silver. Then let me have a quick look at NAS and US 30. You have NAS and US 30. So NASDAQ right here. Then you have US 30. We'll have US 30 as well. US 30 will be right here. Like that. Okay. We'll have US 30 like that right there. Okay. So starting off with US 30, we actually get to remove this. On US 30, we get to remove this. So we have this range from this demand all the way to this supply and back into this demand. That range is filled. Then you have from this demand to this supply back into this demand, that range is filled. Then from this demand, we get to see a break above. Price rallies all the way to these highs here. So what I'll be anticipating for is a potential retest of this before potential push to the upside like that. Okay, so now these was the previous broken all-time highs. So it was a previous broken all-time high like that. So price comes to retest the previous. Now this is the previous one. This is the new one. This is the new all-time high. Like that. So we anticipate a slight retracement to this. We anticipate a slight retracement to this before potential continuation. Okay, before potential continuation of the rally higher. So let's get to observe and see how price reacts to. Let's get to observe and see how price reacts to this. But ideally, for your USD, that is what will be. For your USD, that is what will be. For your USD, that is what we will be looking out for. Okay, that is what we will be looking out. That is what we will be looking out for. Okay, that is what we will be looking out for. So you have that on your USD. Then a quick look at NASDAQ. So for NAS, we have these right here. For NASDAQ, we have this right here. We have this range from these highs all the way down to these low and back to these high, these ranges filled. But then now we have from this demand, this being a major area of demand. So we'll be looking at a potential retest then, a potential continuation of the rally higher. Remember with a weaker dollar, remember with a weaker dollar comes a stronger, with a weaker dollar comes stronger indices and vice versa. So with a stronger dollar, you get to have weaker US indices. So for this one, we have a potential push to the upside. Price breaking above 30,800. The first area of interest will be these previous all-time highs, 30,800 areas. These highs, these ones right here. Okay. But the moment price now feels that range all the way till this point, now we'll get to see, will price hold at this point and you see a potential reversal, or will you get to see price break above and keep pushing, or will you get to see price break above and keep pushing higher? Okay. Or will you get to see price break above, or will you get to see price break above and keep pushing higher? Okay. So we have that right there. Okay. We have that right there. Then, so there's that on NASDAQ. We have US 30 right there. Then, I think those are the major pairs. Yeah, I think those are the major pairs. Then now I'll invite Alpha take us through UK oil, crude oil, Brent oil, and the FTSE and Euro GBP. Then, in case of any question or probably any pair that anyone would like us to look at, we'll get to have a look at it. So, Alpha.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Okay. Just let me share the screen.
Okay.
This is my screen.
Showing that it has started sharing, but it has not yet appeared.
It's a minute.
Yeah, now it's visible.
Okay, I'll start with this. This is US oil. Okay, so I think is it okay? Currently, the price is bullish. We have seen this, but it goes. I'm not sure when I was sharing. The price action was somewhere here. Then I gave a bias. If we see a continuation, it was to break below a retest. Then we were expecting a move lower to this demand. But price tested this supply, reacted, but broke above. after breaking above, we saw 4-hour candle cross above the zone. Sorry. We saw this. Okay, let's check on the daily time frame if we have the same confirmation of, yeah. We saw on the daily time frame, we have a break above with a candle cross above. That's on the daily time frame. Then we come back to the 4-hour. Then we have this break above, candle cross above, a retest of this demand. Now we are seeing a price moving higher to this supply. Unfortunately, on my end, after I was invalidated on this one, I decided to step back from trading this one. Then the price action played out. So if I was to take, if I was to put my sell limit here, then have my stops somewhere here, targeting this supply. That's a reward ratio of 1:2.6. So my currently we are bullish on US oil, and the factors, fundamentals supporting this, we have US still holding a blockade on the Hormuz, preventing any ships accessing